Joining me today is Tom Marsh, the town manager of Windsor. So Tom, you know, we've talked about the budget, and we've got a chance to talk about sort of infrastructure issues, which I think are interesting, but maybe not as exciting to some people. But economic development has got to be something that everybody's interested in. We can look at it. I guess I'll just start with asking, what are you doing in Windsor to sort of attract businesses into the town to spur on economic growth?
Well, we've had a number of different tracks that we're on. I think the biggest thing is we're not interested in pursuing things we can't change. Things like our location, our climate, things like we're never going to attract somebody who wants to be warm, you know? We're Vermont.
So if you want a beach in Florida, or any beach, don't come to Windsor, Vermont.
And maybe what's more germane to this discussion is we know that Vermont and New Hampshire have different tax structures, and that are not going to change at the local level. So we try to promote our strengths and why you would want to be in Windsor. We have highway access, quality of life, a lot of natural resources, a lot of access to Vermont or to New Hampshire's economic side. That's a bit different. And economic development has really been a bright spot for us in the last couple of years, that because we had a lot of buildings, you don't necessarily see new construction going up, but what had been our empty old firehouse on Main Street now employs about 40 people with a new company that's moved in. Selden Technologies is back in what is known as the old Cone Blanchard facility, up to about 45 employees doing very high-tech water filtration systems. On the fun side is Artisans Park, what many people know is just the Harpoon Park. But with the addition of Vermont Farmstead Cheese, Silo Distilleries, complementing Great River Outfitters and Harpoon, there's a real customer experience of seeing it made. You can go watch the vodka be distilled or the beer being brewed or the cheese being made. And that's attracting about 125,000 people a year. We're also very excited about what could appear to be a negative with what has gone on over at Mount Escutney in West Windsor, but the activities there to create mountain biking paths on the scale of Kingdom Trails, up in Burke, that's attracting people to our area. So we're using our strengths of location, tourism aspects, the quality of our architecture, and this notion of kind of a see-it-made concept to create some synergy among our businesses.
So you have a diverse business population then that you talked about, from manufacturing to sort of service side of the equation.
True, and not to forget healthcare with Mount Escutney Hospital and their new alliances with Dartmouth Hitchcock. That's a real economic driver. And 2 weeks ago, we just opened a $10 million expansion at Cedar Hill Continuing Care for assisted living and memory loss patients. So we're really seeing some very significant improvements in our economic profile.
Is the location between Boston and Montreal important to manufacturers, or are they? How do people look at just regionally where you fit in?
Well, I think it is important, but what we find can be equally as important when you're talking a business, say 50 people and under, which is primarily what we're attracting these days. That access to those other major cities, our train stop in Windsor, attracts upper-level management for the quality of life. So they want to be here. If they want to be here, they want their business to be here. And that's not just for Windsor, but going from, Lebanon, all the way down to Charlestown. I came from the town where Wheelan Engineering in Chester, Connecticut is their headquarters, and I see what they're doing here in Charlestown. There's different economic factors driving them both, but location and proximity to this market is important in both areas.
And the quality of life is important.
Quality of life is very important.
And that's a lot of people would think about schools. And how have the schools fared when you've looked at quality of life?
Well, education is probably as challenging these days as the infrastructure we had spoken about. Vermont, with their offer of school choice, Windsor doesn't have school choice because we're a host community, so we have that dynamic to go back and forth with. The school has done very well, particularly of late. And the tuition students that we're bringing in is important. But when you're looking about attracting people to the area, Windsor has a strong school system. This fact of school choice brings another dynamic into it that can be beneficial to any community that is looking to attract quality employees and families.
Well, we're almost out of time in this segment.